So good day everyone, I am Candy Valerie D. Ramos.
And my name is Jasmine Diachuri, and today we are going to discuss about the GMO or genetically modified organisms. So, in a easy explanation, a GMO is genetically modified organism. It's about any living thing like plant, animals, or microbe whose DNA has been changed in a lab using genetic engineering. So, how is it made? Kung paano ito ginagawa is through adding genes. Yung mga scientists ay nag-insert sila ng mga useful gene from another organism. Example, a BT corn has a bacterial gene, so it makes its own insecticide. So the second example is about removing or silencing genes that turn off a gene to stop an unwanted trait.
GMO is any life form, a plant, animal, or microbe, that has had its DNA changed. When people hear this term, alarm bells often ring in their head as it fills with thoughts of science fiction monsters. However, GMOs are all around us. We've genetically modified bacteria to secrete life-saving insulin, but when it comes to our food, specifically the plants that we eat, people have some serious objections. The debate swings between GMOs could either save humanity or be the reason for global food insecurity. We grow GM crops on nearly 185 million hectares in 26 countries, including 19 developing nations. That's roughly 12% of the global cropland. We regularly produce GM soybean, corn, cotton, alfalfa, canola, apples, papaya, potatoes, summer squash, sugar beets, and pineapple.
The two most common types of GMOs are foods, canola, soybean, golden rice corn, and aspartame, medicines, insulin, hormones, and vaccine. Food GMOs. Crops are modified so when farmers kill weeds with herbicides, the crops can withstand the exposure to the herbicide, killing the weeds and not the crop. Although it is not as common, some types of GMOs are modified to increase their nutrient content. Corn and soybeans are two examples of crops that have higher nutrient GMO versions available.
So now let's talk about the common types of GMO. So meron tayong food and medicines GMO. So pag-usapan natin ano nga ba yung food and medicines GMO. So first, pag-usapan natin kung ano yung foods GMO. So pag sinabi nating foods GMO, ito yung mga crops or mga tanim which is binago or chinis ng mga scientists to make the farming easier and also para ma-improve yung mga foods. And yung iba namang crops is binago nila para mas makasurvive pa sa mga weed killers. Like for example, pag mag-spray yung mga farmers ng chemicals, so yung damo lang yung mamamatay and hindi masasali yung mga tanim. And also, other crop is changed to be more nutritious, like for example, yung mga corn and soybeans. So, para mas maging nutritious pa siya kaysa sa normal one.
Medicine GMOs, genetically modified medicines, can be produced cheaper and easier. Some GMOs are insulin, thyroid hormones, and the hepatitis B vaccine, insulin being the oldest.
So, while yung medicines GMO naman, is yung GMO is ginagamit din siya para gumawa ng medicine. And these medicine are easier and cheaper to produce dahil binago ito ng scientists para makakreate ng large amount. Like for example, insulin, thyroid hormones, and hepatitis B vaccine. So, yung insulin is ginagamit siya for diabetes. And also, it is the oldest and most common GMO made.
Other types of GMOs, plants and crops, microbes, mammals, insects, and aquatic life.
So we also have the other types of GMO. So we have the plants and crop which is ginagamit to improve the farming and foods. We also have the microbes. Ito is yung tiny organism na ginagamit para gumawa ng medicine and to help the environment. We also have the mammals. Ito yung mga animals used for research or medicine. We also have the insects which is binago siya ng mga scientists para makontrol yung mga pests. And the last one, we have the aquatic life. Ito yung mga fish or other water animals na binago para lumaki ng mabilis and also to survive better.
So now let's tackle about the history of GMO. So the first GMO created in 1973 after years of testing and research. So GMO were introduced to farmers in the 1990s. Genetically modified foods became available in stores. So which means in 1973, the first GMO was made. Scientists Herbert Boyer and Stanley Cohen. So it took a gene from one bacteria and put it into another bacteria. So yun, it worked. That was the first lab-made GMO. It was not food, just bacteria in a petri dish, but it proved, hey, we can move genes around. So, kaya ngayon, makikita natin na sila na available na sila sa mga stores. So, now let's move to the 1978 in the history of GMO. The Genentech becomes the first to synthesize insulin. Later, they create a human growth hormone which was used to enable dwarf children to grow to a normal size. So, Genentech's Humulin is the first consumer product developed through modern bioengineering. So, noong 1982 daw, naging Humulin yung insulin mula sa lab ng Genentech. So, ito ang kauna-unahang gamot para sa mga tao na gawa gamit ang genetic engineering. Yung mga diba, we also, na-encounter natin ngayon, napapanood natin sa mga news, sa mga medias. So, inapprove siya ng FDA, kaya siya tinawag na unang consumer product mula sa modernong bioengineering. So, the human growth hormone, like what I said earlier, ginamit din nila ang parehong paraan. Nilagay nila ang human growth hormone gene sa bacteria. So, yung mga bata na may dwarfism at hindi nakakagawa ng sapat na hormone, nakapag-inject na at lumaking mas malapit sa normal na height. So, yung mga batang may dwarfism, through the help of that inject, so lumalaki na sila into normal size. Now, let's move to the 1982. The Monsanto introduced a bovine growth hormone used in cows to increase milk production. So, they were among the first to genetically modify a plant cell in 1983. So, in 1982 daw, inintroduce ni Monsanto ang bovine growth hormone na ginamit sa mga cows para mag-increase ang milk production. So, sila din daw ang kauna-unahang nakapag-genetic modified ng plant cells in 1983. So, in 1982, the Calgene's Savar tomato is approved for commercial production by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. So this was genetically engineered to remain firm for a longer period of time. So the FDA declares that genetically engineered foods are not dangerous and do not require a special regulation. So in 1992, na-approve ang Flaviar Savar tomato ng Calgene. So, inaprubahan ng US Department of Agriculture ang Flaviar Savar tomato para ibenta sa mga tao. So, na-allowed na ito ibenta sa mga tao. Ito rin ang kauna-unahang GMO na pagkain na pwede nang itanim at ibenta ng mga magsasaka or ng mga farmer. So, ano nga ba ang special dito? So, genetically engineered siya para manatiling matigas at sariwa ng mas matagal para magtagal ang pagkain. So, dati mabilis lumambot at mabulok ang kamatis pag hinog na. Sa Flaviar Savar, hinarang ng mga scientists yung mga gene na nagpapalambot sa kamatis. Kaya mas matagal siya bago masira. So, ibig sabihin, pwede siyang anihin na hinog na at saka hindi hilaw. Tapos, hindi agad masisira pag dinala sa tindahan. So, it has a long span yung mga kamatis kahit inog na siya, parang i-harvest. So today, which is the soybeans, 93% of soybeans planted in the US in the US are genetically modified. So, yung mga soybeans are used in products such as animal feed, prepackaged meals, and the oil is used in many industrial applications. So, the corn, 86% of corn planted in the US falls under the category of a GMO. So, the soybeans, 93% ng mga soybeans na tinatanim sa US ay genetically modified na daw. So, saan ginagamit ang mga soybeans? So, first is sa pagkain ng mga hayop. Halo sa feeds ng manok, baboy, baka, at saka marami pa. So, second is the pre-packaged meals. Maraming instant at delatang pagkain na may soy. Diba? Nakikita natin yan. Sa 3 is the industrial oil, yung mga mantika galing sa soy na ginagamit natin sa mga pabrika tulad ng paggawa ng sabon, mga tint at mga biodiesel. So, yung mga corn and mais, 86% ng mais na tinatanim sa US ay GMO na rin daw. Ang mga mais na pinakamaraming tinatanim na, sa buong Amerikas. Saan ginagamit ang GMO corn? So, the sugar substitutes. Ginagawa itong high fructose corn syrup, yung mga pampatamis sa soft drinks at yung mga candies. So, second is the mga processed foods, yung mga maraming instant noodles, yung mga chips, yung mga iba pang packet ng yung mga nakasachet na pagkain na may sangkap na galing sa mga mais. At saka yung ethanol or biofuel. Ginagawing gasolina na hinaluan ng mga ethanol para mas kaunti ang usok or yung mga pollution ng mga sasakyan. So, karamihan ng soy at mais ngayon ay GMO na or genetically modified. Hindi lang siya pagkain ng mga tao, gamit din siya sa mga pagkain ng hayop, sa mga pabrika at sa mga gasolina. And also there is tomorrow, so which means still in development, or like various products including vaccines, vitamin enrichments, hormones that result in faster maturation and disease resistance. So only time can tell if the risks involved in using GMOs will outweigh the benefits. So meron pa yung mga under pa siya sa mga hindi pa natin alam kung anong results. So ngayon under development pa lang siya. So that's all for the history of the GMO. So after the history of the GMO, my partner or co-facilitator Candy Bali Ramos will going to explain the examples of the potential benefits and risks of GMO.
Potential benefits and risks of GM golden rice. Advantage: it contains vitamin A, so children in developing countries won't become blind. Disadvantage: poor countries become dependent on rich countries which have the techniques for engineering.
So now let's move on to the example of potential benefits and risks of GM or genetically modified. So first we have the golden rice. So yung advantage nito is meron na siyang vitamin A, which is nakakatulong para makaprevent ng blindness, especially in children in poor countries. Yung disadvantage naman nito is yung poor countries is aasa na lang sa mga rich countries, sa mga technologies nila para makaproduce ng rice.
Sweet corn. Advantages: no longer use of insecticides. The farmer don't need to deal with toxic. Disadvantages: insects can become resistant to the poison. Endangered butterflies are a bigger threat.
Next, we have this sweet corn. So, yung advantage nito is no need na magamit ng mga farmers ng mga insect spray. So, mas safety na ito para sa kanila and also sa environment. While yung disadvantages naman nito is some insect is hindi na sila tinatablan ng poison, which is nakakasurvive na sila, which is yung nangyayari is mahihirapan na silang patayin. And also, nagiging harmful na ito sa mga helpful insects like butterflies, bees, and etc.
Long-lasting tomatoes. Advantages: GM tomatoes can remain fresh longer. GM tomatoes can tolerate a lengthier transport time. Disadvantage: tomatoes are resistant to antibiotics.
And the last one, we have the long-lasting tomatoes. So, the disadvantage of this is nagastay siya ng fresh ng matagal and pwede na siyang i-transport sa malayo nang hindi agad nabubulok. While the disadvantages naman is ginagamitan na nila ito ng antibiotics, which is yung antibiotic is ginagamit siya para gamutin yung mga bacterial infection, not for plants.
What are people's concerns? Is this food safe? Should food be labeled? Are there adverse environmental effects? Patenting of seeds, discrimination against the poor. Who benefits? All of these concerns apply to food and agriculture in general.
So, ano-ano nga ba yung concern ng mga tao sa GMO? So, first, safe ba kainin yung mga foods? So, naka-label ba yung mga GMO foods? Or harmful ba ito sa environment? And unfair ba yung treatment sa mga mahihirap na farmers? And sino ba talaga yung naga-benefit sa GMO? So, lahat ng yan is yun yung mga concern ng mga tao sa GMO.
Genetic modification of conventional crops, 61% of corn, 83% of cotton, 80% of canola, 89% of soybeans, other crops, rice, tomatoes, potatoes, Hawaiian papaya, chicory, crookneck squash.
And sa genetic modification of convention crops, so pinapakita naman dito na ang GMO ay mostly ginagamit na siya sa farming dahil nakakatulong ito para ma-improve yung mga crop production and yung quality.
Advantages: reduced use of pesticide and other toxic chemicals. Desired characteristics of food are achieved and in a shorter time. Improves nutritional value. Many people rely on GM food for medicines. Gene technology is the best solution to the problem of world hunger.
Advantage of GM or genetically modified food. So first is konti lang na mga harmful chemicals ang ginagamit, which is safe siya for the farmers and also sa environment. Second is mabilis tutubo yung mga tanim. Mas lalaki yung size and hindi basta-basta maapektuhan ng masamang panahon like sobrang init or kaya sobrang pag-ulan. And also, the third one, mas healthier yung food kasi ginagamitan or dinadagdagan ito ng vitamins. And the fourth one is helpful din ito sa paggawa ng medicine, which is very kailangan ng mga tao. And the last one, mas madaling makaproduce ng food, which is very helpful to reduce hunger.
Environmental hazards from pesticides. Substantial health impacts on workers. Pollution of natural ecosystems, waterways. Loss of insect biodiversity in agroecosystems. Creation of secondary pests. Creation of insect races resistant to pesticides.
So now let's move on to the environmental hazard from pesticide. So first, using pesticide is harmful siya sa mga farmers or sa mga workers kasi na-expose sila sa mga chemicals. Second naman is nagiging cause din ito ng pollution sa rivers and sa soil, which is nakaka-apekto ito sa mga tanim, animals, and also sa mga tao. And third is pesticide is useful para patayin yung mga harmful insects. But naapektuhan din yung mga helpful insects like mga butterflies, bees, and other helpful insects. And the last one, sometimes ito pa yung cause for new insects na mag-exist. It means hindi na sila naapektuhan ng mga pesticide.
So we also have here the disadvantages of GMO. So first is the unacceptable to some groups to copy genes. So which means some people think moving genes between species is playing God, or they may see it as unnatural. Sa mga for religious or cultural or ethical reasons, naniniwala sila na dapat hindi natin ipag-mix ang DNA from a fish, bacteria, or pig into plants or other animals. So it's a values issue, not a safety issue. So the second is the interfere in food chain. So yung concern is if GMO crops are better at surviving, they could outcompete wild plants. So, or the GMO insects or animals could spread traits so fast. So, the third disadvantages is the genetically engineered animals may suffer more health problems. So, by changing an animal's DNA can have side effects. So, like a GMO salmon made to grow fast might also get bone problems or weaker immune system. So that's the disadvantages the fish or the animals. So the fourth one is the allergic reactions. So the new genes or new proteins, if we take a gene from peanuts or put it in a soy, someone with peanut allergy, yung mga may allergy sa mga peanuts, is might react to that soy. So that's why every GMO food is tested for known allergens before approval. So the fifth one or the last one is the genetic pollution. So which means GMO traits spreading where we don't want them. So like GMO corn pollen blowing into non-GMO farmers field and crossing with his corn. And it's stated here that agriculture has narrowed the gene pool and caused a lot of biodiversity. So we have here as you can see, we have here what do you call this? So first is the wild progenitors and relatives. So makikita nyo dyan sa mga pictures. And the second one is the land races. And the third one is the elite lines. And also yung agriculture is the main cause of environmental change and degradation. And that's all for our topic about the GMO or genetically modified organism. So I hope you learn from our discussion, from our explanation along with my partner Miss Candy Valerie Ramos. Again, thank you so much for listening.